What's going on YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. It's your boy Devin Coates. Welcome to Dak Attack. This video here is about consistency. So consistency is everything. It's the nothing days that count. This kind of came from me being sick. I kind of fell off for the last couple weeks, like 2 weeks. So it's just something I was thinking about. So it's kind of more of a freestyle video. Most part, in this culture, this day and age, especially with the advent of social media and people being so addicted to that type of medium, we focus a lot on events rather than process in terms of like what we want to do. So you look on social media, you see big events, weddings, people having babies, people doing crazy shit, but you don't generally see the process that got them there, or even if there is a process or a structure behind what they're showing. This could just be like a one-time thing that it looks like it's their whole life because they showed you 7 different snapshots of 7 cool things that happened in a whole fucking year or 5 years, when their day-to-day is nothing like that. There's a book called Unscripted, or The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco, and he kind of talks about this, and he calls it event idealism, that specifically in American culture, that this is how you're shown everything. You always shown the people when they make it. You don't really they don't really like to show the process of making it. It's like that is even like a term, like everybody would know what I mean by saying we made it. It's like you got to the peak of the mountain. And there's another author that I've been reading a lot, Ichiro Kashimi and Fumitake Koga, I think their names are. But they wrote The Courage of Being Disliked and The Courage of Being Happy. And one of the main things that they talk about is the nothing days, and how the nothing days matter the most. And this is something that's in Adlerian psychology, because that's what the book is basically about. But the bulk of your days, the day-to-day, is not going to be all this exciting shit. It's going to be, the mundane, the day-to-day. You wake up, you're tired. A lot of times people focus on, making big goals, posting fucking crazy memes, and all this other shit. But basically, the main thing that you're going to be doing every day is in the boring. It is the tedious. It also goes back to Mastery by Robert Greene, my favorite book. I mentioned it many times. That it's that daily practice, those daily rituals that are going to make an event. Your event isn't built from it doesn't just fall out of the sky. It's layers and layers of hard work. And whenever we look behind the scenes of anybody who's done anything impressive, whether it's sports, business, or otherwise, there was tons of work that was done in the past. And I'm not just talking about visualization and thinking about it, but you think about an athlete who does a lot of visualization, they're also putting in 10,000 hours of hard work on top of those 5,000, 10,000 hours of recycling it through their mind. So this is probably going to be a quick video. It's just something that has been on my mind for the most part, because to do anything, you have to be consistent. Anything you do once in a while is not going to be really fruitful. We can look at this in terms of working out. You work out 1 day a month, you're not going to have a great body. You eat good 1 day a month, you're not going to have a great diet. It's the same deal. But if you're working out 6 days a week, eating well 6 days a week, 1 day taking off, 1 day eating bad, is also vice versa not going to do anything to diminish it. And I think a lot of people, there's certain parts where working out, it's a very linear, very tangible, easy to understand type of situation. But when people are taken to other aspects, whether it be work, entrepreneurship, things in their personal life, etc., they don't take the same type of approach, or they don't see the same logic, and you don't take it in the same type of vein. So at the end of the day, I mean, there's one saying that's always comes around, that Rome wasn't built in a day, which is definitely true. But I've done a lot of research on Roman history, just off of Netflix. I can't lie, I've been watching Roman Empire over and over. But it also didn't fall in a day. It was a process to each one of those things. And that's the number one thing you kind of have to realize, is that no matter what you're doing, it's going to be a process. So in terms of making commitments and keeping those commitments for things that are, big, if you have big ideals or big goals, you have to kind of keep in mind that it's going to be the same thing as, you know, anything else, that you have to consistently be working towards it. You have to consistently be taking steps towards that. So the main thing is to keep your commitments to yourself and stay consistent with what you're doing, because the day-to-day is really where the work is put in, and it's the nothing days that matter. Those big something days are few and far between, and generally a result of what you were doing on the days that were boring, mundane, and more numerous than, you know, special events that most people like to focus on. And even getting that joy and that you know, contentment and fulfillment in those nothing days, not waiting for something to happen. It's like, and that kind of goes back to the book, and this is something I was trying to say before. You know, most people look at, and this is from, you know, the Courage Be Like, Courage Be Happy. Most people look at their life almost like a mountain where, you know, they can be happy or they can make it when they hit the peak. So the majority of their life is en route to the life that they're trying to have. When it's a better way to think about it as the travel is the destination, and not that you're just wandering, but the pursuit of what you're doing, the steps you're taking forward, the process that you're embarking on is the journey. That is the life, that's the lifestyle you're trying to live, not so much the end result or the peak. You know, in one of Stephen Pressfield's books, he says, you're not entitled to the fruits of your labor, but you're entitled to your labor. So the labor itself is the reward, and keeping that in mind, that consistency, the things you're putting in day to day is the reward, is the benefit, and getting a benefit from that, and not so much being attached to that big event, big outcome, and being more attached to the process. So that's it really for this one. I have another one coming soon. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you didn't like it. Any feedback will do. Until next time, peace out.